Hello everyone. Today we will be learning about the circulatory system. So, what is the circulatory system? So, the circulatory system is an organ system that cleans the blood and allows blood to circulate the entire body in order to deliver oxygen and other nutrients to tissues and cells. So, the major organs in the circulatory system are the heart, arteries and veins, lungs, and blood. But just a reminder that blood is not an organ, but it's a fluid tissue. So now let's learn how the system functions. So after the blood is done delivering oxygen and other nutrients, the blood runs out of oxygen, so it has to return back to the heart. So with the help of the veins, the blood returns back to the heart through one of these two vena cavas. And then that blood goes to this room called the right atrium. The right atrium pushes the blood through the tricuspid valve here to the right ventricle. And the right ventricle pumps the blood to the lungs through this valve called the pulmonary valve. And this is where the circulatory system interacts with another system. So in this case, the circulatory system will interact with the respiratory system. So in the lungs, the blood will get cleaned, will get filled with oxygen, and then it's going to return back to the heart. So the blood will go to this room called the left atrium, and the left atrium will push the blood through the bicuspid valve to the left ventricle. And the left ventricle will pump the blood to the aorta through the aortic valve. And finally, the aorta will distribute clean blood to the entire body. And eventually this cycle will begin all over again. So next, let's learn some common illnesses and diseases in the circulatory system. So, atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis happens when plaque builds up along the walls of the arteries, making your arteries gradually become narrow. This could affect the blood flow and cause your organs and tissues not to get enough oxygen. In some extreme cases, an artery may become completely blocked and cause a stroke and even a heart attack. The main causes of atherosclerosis are a high blood pressure, a high cholesterol, uses of tobacco, diabetes, being overweight, an unhealthy diet, and zero physical activity. So for the medical diagnosis, doctors have many tests and tools that can be used to determine the presence of atherosclerosis. One of the tests is called electrocardiogram. Electrocardiogram is a simple test that records the electrical signals of your heart. And for the medical treatment of atherosclerosis, your doctor might prescribe medicines and drugs. But sometimes surgery can also be necessary, so you might have to go through this procedure called endarterectomy. So now we have blood clots. Blood clots is a medical condition that happens when your blood clumps together or coagulates and forms a gel-like substance. Blood clots can get stuck in blood vessels and stuck in blood flow. And this could cause a heart attack, pulmonary embolism, stroke, and DVT. So for the medical diagnosis of blood clots, your doctor will again have tons of tests and tools. Your doctor could use a Doppler ultrasound to check for any blood clots. For the treatment of blood clots, this just depends on where the blood clot is located in your body. If the blood clot is in your artery, your doctor could tell you to go through a procedure called catheter-directed thrombolysis. But if the blood clot is located in your veins, you could take blood thinning medication again. Now we have arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is a heart disease that causes abnormal heartbeat rhythm. This happens when the electrical signals that control your heartbeat change and don't work properly. So an electrocardiogram could also be used to diagnose arrhythmia, same as to diagnose atherosclerosis. And for the treatment of arrhythmia, doctors first figure out the speed of your heartbeat. Then if you have a slow heartbeat, doctors usually place a pacemaker, as you can see here, near your collarbone. But if you have a fast heartbeat, treatments may vary. You might have to take medications or go through procedures such as a catheter ablation. But now, if you don't want to go through any of those surgeries, medications, drugs, what you could do is you could keep your circulatory system healthy. And now you might be asking, how do I do that? Well, you should avoid smoking, should be active and exercise daily. You should have a healthy diet and drink tons of water. You should get enough sleep and get regular health checkups. And that was it for my project. Thank you for listening.